So, welcome to the Propelling Business Excellence podcast. And I am very excited because we have Jeff Meltzer, who is the founder of Applied Ergonomics. So, welcome, Jeff. Thank you very much for joining us today. Could you kick us off with your introduction, what you do, and who your customers are?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. Applied Ergonomics is a contract furniture dealership and design firm. And we're based in the Chicago area, but we work nationally. And we design or work together with interior designers at large firms who are in turn paid to do interior design. For commercial customers of all types, primarily in the office space or medical or education, car dealerships. We've done all kinds of commercial interiors, not so much hospitality, but we've done some.
That's amazing. And what is your website, Jeff? You don't mind
It's
telling?
appliedergonomics.com.
And what's the best way to contact you guys?
Email, or people can call my cell phone directly at 224-715-5148.
All right, that was very kind of you. I wasn't thinking you would give that, but regardless, thank you very much. So the website is appliedergonomics.com.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. And what inspired you to start your journey? I know it's been quite some time. You mentioned it's been over 3 decades now.
Yeah. At the time, I had been working for a company that was pioneering ergonomics, and that company went out of business. And it was time to either move on or start my own. And I chose to start my own, but I didn't want to just sell ergonomic seating and accessories because I was sure, and I was only wrong by about 25 years, that that standard office furniture dealerships would really learn and compete in the ergonomic field, and so that we would be the last ones to the table. So in year one, I decided to move into the commercial furniture dealership model, and work on whole projects rather than just ergonomics.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think the picture in the background is what you had worked on. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your
so
project?
this actually is corporate headquarters for Nikola Motor in Phoenix.
Amazing.
You may be familiar with them. They found us on the web. We planned their space for about a year, and then outfitted. When they first moved in, the building was 160,000 square feet. 60,000 of it was for prototyping, but 100,000 of it was for office.
Oh, wow.
When they first moved in, we moved them in with about 200 people, and since got up to about 1,100 people in the building. As the production moved to their new plant, they filled in the prototyping area, and we furnished that as well. So yeah, one of my favorite installs. Again, they found us on the web, and working across the country was just no issue. And when it was time to be there, I would fly to Phoenix.
That's amazing. And you basically design as well as provide the furniture? How does it work?
In this case, they paid their architect to do the building, but not to do any of the interiors for it. And rather than paying the architect or an interior design firm, we did that. So we specified all of the furniture and finishes, and basically tied everything together with their building to make it seamless.
Yeah, that looks very amazing.
It's
background
one of
itself.
my favorites. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much. So what are some, as we talk about your entrepreneurial journey here, what are some misconceptions about running a business, and how do you actually address them?
Well, one of the misconceptions for sure is that it's easy. Another misconception is that um, is that it's easy to grow a business.
Mhm.
It's not. And you have to be good at a lot of different things, and you have to hire people that are smarter than you, and that is alone extremely difficult.
Yeah, that's actually true. We also teach that in the business coaching. It's not easy to do it, but if you work with some outside perspective, that kind of helps out. Would you agree with that?
I would. I would.
Mhm.
So actually, speaking of what you do, yeah, it's important to work with people who are smarter or know more about aspects of the business than you do. And that speaks directly to using a coach like you,
Oh,
because
thank
it
you.
is very, I know, I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking about that now, and
Mhm.
I have done that before. And yeah, it's hard to hire great people. So if you can't do that and you need to fill that in, then you work with the best you can find.
Yep. Thank you, Jeff. And I know we talked about your work-life balance. You don't have any as an entrepreneur, and I've heard that from many other entrepreneurs as well. Do you want to comment on that? What is your work-life balance?
Yeah,
How
I
do you
joked at
maintain
our
your
con
little bit of
I joked at
personal
our
stint?
conversation. First of all, anybody that owns and starts a business does it because they love what they do.
Right.
So almost any entrepreneur is spending a boatload of time during regular hours and off hours running their business. And for most of the time, you're working on projects that are outside of the normal day-to-day of the job,
Mm-hmm.
and those have to be done in off hours also. Um, so yeah, work-life balance is important to have some downtime, but entrepreneurs don't have a whole lot.
Yeah. And that's the message I also got from a lot of entrepreneurs. Thank you for
Yeah.
explaining that.
And anybody that's looking for a job shouldn't ask in their interview about the work-life balance. Certainly not to an entrepreneur.
Right. All right. Thank you. And what are your future 1 to 3 years business plan? I know you have been
Well,
running for quite a long time.
given that I'm not a spring chicken and want to retire in a few years, I'm looking to set the business up for sale.
Hmm.
I get requests from business brokers. I'm not ready yet. We're in the middle of too many things that are transformative to the business.
Hmm.
But that is my intention. I have a time horizon of 2 to 3 years to sell the business. So I've got the pedal to the metal to try to take advantage of all that I've learned
Hmm.
over the 30 years of running the business to make sure that A, we're set up for success, but B, we actually have infrastructure with a new website and new business systems in place that somebody can take and run with.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is something maybe we can talk offline also. We do help companies with exit planning and selling also.
Okay.
Stuff. Um, but in terms of obstacles, like what obstacles do you see encountering as you try to sell your business in 3 years? I mean, you have been so successful so far for last 30 years.
Well, I'd say that there are macro trends in the world that are hard to fight, and one of them right now is that offices are being abandoned.
Uh-huh.
It started with COVID, but then it also it's continuing with people working from hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that offices per se will ever go away. I think that there are really important aspects of working together.
Mm-hmm.
but certainly more distributed because nobody wants to sit in traffic for an hour and a half.
Right.
And there are advantages to working remotely also.
Right.
So that, as organizations and primarily companies, but organizations shed real estate, that's certainly a macro trend that um, is not working in our favor.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, we work in so many other industries that are in person, like medicine, that
Yeah.
uh, it counters it.
Yeah, that's actually great. You have very smartly shifted your business also to some extent with the medical
Yeah,
businesses.
I mean,
They will
we've
always be
had
in person.
medical clients for years,
Right.
um, uh, but that's certainly become a much more important part of the customer mix.
Okay. Yeah. So you have shifted your focus a lot more
Yeah,
into medical. Yeah. I think that makes total sense. You're very smartly done it. Yeah. Great
thank
job
you.
on that.
Yeah.
So in terms of like the new aspiring businesses, entrepreneurs, or the businesses that are struggling or having challenges, you have had a successful business for so long. What advice would you offer them?
I think that the smartest thing that I could tell anybody and that we were talking about earlier isn't necessarily um uh about things that I've done well, but things that I wish I had analyzed early on, and as I was starting the business and choosing a business to go into. And that is that I am jealous of my friends who are in businesses where they close a new sale, get a new customer, and that customer is a repeat customer. Um, we're in the business of working with customers. Thank God some of them have multiple locations and new leases come up, etc. But most of them have one location and it's time to move or time to renew a lease and get expansion dollars from the landlord, etc. And so it's a one-time expenditure. So we absolutely have repeat customers, um, but it's certainly not a kind of repeat customer that is monthly or even yearly.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I was giving somebody advice as to what to look for as they're evaluating a company or a business rather to open, it
Mm-hmm.
would be go into a business where your customers are accretive rather than not.
Yeah, I think that's a great advice when you're evaluating the business idea to think about will you have repeatable customers forever or not. Yeah, I think even in business coaching aspect of things, I think this is great advice. But also the businesses, like in your case, also Jeff, I'm thinking if the companies are growing and you are getting business from those, they
Yeah,
will also continue to
no
extend the
question.
locations. Right. Okay.
No question. Yeah,
Right. If you specifically targeted them as the lead.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
no question.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, great conversation. I think it was a very different perspective because I have not interviewed an interior designer before. So I really appreciate your time here. Thank you very much,
Thank
Jeff, for
you.
being here. Is there anything else you want to tell any of the people that want to get your services? Any other?
Sure. Again, our website is appliedergonomics.com. We are building a new website that's going to be out in probably 3 months.
Okay.
It will have both ideation for projects as well as a much more robust e-commerce platform for uh, both home office users and corporate users. So it will be a great resource for people to look for ideas.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. And you're mainly looking for what type of businesses again?
We're business agnostic. We work a lot in medical. We work a lot with anybody that's computer oriented, um, in an office. And we don't just do ergonomic furniture. We do all kinds of furniture.
Mhm.
But our expertise in ergonomics gives, the more I talk to other people, the more I realize how unique our perspective is, because we look from the person out rather than from the walls in.
Mm. What does that mean?
And so it gives us a very different perspective on how to allocate space and how to make a successful interior.
Hmm. Okay. That's amazing. Thank you so much again, Jeff, for being on our podcast. We really enjoyed it, and definitely a different perspective from entrepreneurial perspective. Really appreciate your time here.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.